Hello, everybody, and welcome back to this Thursday edition of TJ's Talk Show. And today we're going to talk about the TNT doubleheader for basketball tonight. And we're going to start first off with the later game, the Portland Trail Blazers against the Los Angeles Lakers. And then I'll quickly touch on the first game that's on TNT tonight, the Rockets versus the Thunder. So let's go ahead and get right into it. The Lakers and the Blazers tip off at 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific on TNT, the second game of the doubleheader, as I just mentioned. And let's go into the injury report real quick. First off, for the Lakers, it'll be Jordan Clarkson is listed as probable. He's been day-to-day with an elbow injury. And Luol Deng has been ruled as questionable. He's been battling some bicep issues. So Jordan Clarkson's a pretty valuable piece of this Lakers offense. And Luol Deng's a very good role player who can do just about anything you need him to do. I believe he starts for that team when healthy. So Jordan Clarkson, who's listed as probable, will most likely start as a 3 tonight, would be my guess. If Deng can't start and can't go tonight. And for the Blazers, Damian Lillard listed as probable, which is good news for Blazer fans. He's been out 5 games with an ankle injury, and he is listed as probable tonight. I would assume they try to limit his minutes tonight since it is a second game of a back-to-back, which he didn't play last night, but they are also at home tonight. So you might, I don't know how I would play this, because you can definitely go and push him back to his normal minutes, which, who knows? He's missed 5 games, so he could be a little rusty. And they play again on Saturday at home, so you might save him a little bit, try to shake off the rust before Saturday's game. So that's something Coach Stotts really has to focus on tonight. Yes, it is kind of a big game. You're on national TV, so you want Lillard to play, but you also don't want to hurt him for the rest of the season. The Lakers are coming off a 116-102 win against Memphis back on Tuesday, so they're riding the hot hand, you could say, as the Blazers are coming off a big 125-117 loss last night, which was on ESPN. That game was nationally televised. And they covered the spread, so Portland did something good last night. They didn't just get blown out. They kept it reasonable. They kept it within 10. The spread was 16, and they ended up losing by 9. So good for you, Portland, in the minor victories of things, the little scheme of things. Steph Curry led the way with 35 points. Mason Plumlee with 10 rebounds, and Draymond Green led the way with 11 assists. Those were just the game highs across both teams. But now that you have Lillard back, you really have to look at the defensive pressure that the Blazers have been putting on teams the last 5 games without him. They're one of the worst defensive teams in the league, and they used to just go under every screen and allow a bunch of open three-pointers or deep twos to a lot of good players. And as of recently, they're not only are they hedging, they are also switching, which, doesn't let anybody have a completely wide open shot, which is good to see. And, this has kind of worked out for them, kind of hasn't. They're 5 games without Lillard. They've gone 2-3 with a 4-point loss against Toronto, a big win against Sacramento, a big loss at San Antonio to end the year, 2016 the year, and a win on New Year's against Minnesota, and then last night they lost by 9. So you really got to take into account that pressure and that defensive scheme that Stotts has put in, and you got to see if Lillard's willing to buy in. I think he is, because that's just the kind of guy he is. He's the leader of this team. He needs to be playing. He needs to buy into the system to keep it working, because this might be the best defensively the Blazers are going to get all year. So you got to be able to gel instantly with him back on the court. And that also means the role players really have to come in big for the Blazers. You need the Allen Crabs of the world and the Myers Leonards to really produce. You need them to do everything that you're paying them to do, especially Leonard and Crab, who are getting paid big bucks, well more than what I believe they're worth. So you really got to take that into account, and you really need them to step up tonight against, Lou Williams and Julius Randle, the big post for the Lakers, and that's going to be a huge thing tonight. And you got to see how much they're willing to contribute, because I mentioned it the other night or last week when they played Sacramento and they got that win, that you needed Leonard and Aminu and Harkless to really contribute, and they did. And you need that now with your leader on the court. So not only will that help McCollum get more open looks and be able to do more what he does, which is slash, come off of screens instead of taking over that point guard position, but Damian Lillard, I would assume, is a little rusty, 5 games off. It's an ankle injury, so it's not something you can rush back from, and it's probably something he hasn't been able to put a whole lot of pressure on and really shoot and keep his shot in touch. But he is a natural scorer, so the scoring part, at least from deep, is not something I'm worried about. It's the wear and tear of, 25, 30 minutes over tonight's course of the game, because he hasn't been able to do that the last week or so, 2 weeks. And so Damian Lillard's going to need his feet under him. It's going to need some time, so he needs his teammates like Crab, Mo Harkless, Al-Farouq Aminu, Myers Leonard, Mason Plumlee, CJ McCollum. I'm trying to think of anyone else who really comes off the bench. Noah Vonleh, to really contribute tonight, and they need to, say, hey, you know what, leader, captain, you're back from injury, and it's great, but now it's your turn to buy into what we've been doing without you to make it better, and we'll pick you up on the offensive end. Now that's still yet to be seen, since this is the first game with him back. But you also got to look at the schedule. So they have really 3 games to really see what it's going to be like with Lillard on the court. They got LA, the Lakers tonight. Detroit comes to town on Saturday, and then Portland goes to LA to face the Lakers on the 10th, before heading back home on the 11th to face Cleveland and LeBron James. So that's the matchup you really got to look forward to. Yes, we all care about these games record-wise, but as far as facing the Lakers twice and Detroit with Damian Lillard back from injury, if I'm Coach Stotts, you've got to play for Wednesday the 11th, because you know what? That's the game everybody is going to go to. And that is the game everyone is going to want to watch. That game will be on ESPN. So, that's the game everyone's really, really going to be looking at. The only people that are interested in tonight's game on TNT are going to be the West Coast teams or the West Coast cities. I don't think you're going to see too many Houston Rocket fans or, San Antonio Spurs fans or Oklahoma City fans or even Cleveland who are going to tune in for the second game of this doubleheader. They got way better things to do, like prepare for their games that are coming up. Portland, I think, could win this game. They're a 3.5-point favorite as of the moment against these Lakers tonight. So that is something you really, really need to do. And your bench and even your other role players really need to contribute. And this defensive scheme, if that's what you want to call it, that Coach Stotts has implemented as of late, needs to really stick. And Lillard needs to buy in. But the line, I believe, is at 220 points, which is definitely doable. I don't know if you want to bet on that or not or anything like that, because these teams, aren't completely, they don't really play the greatest defense, but actually Portland's a 7-point favorite. I just re-looked at the line. So 3 or 7-point favorites. These teams don't do anything spectacular, but they don't do anything really bad. They're pretty even on all aspects. Portland averages 107 points a game to the Lakers 104. So we're going to have a lot of points tonight. And if you don't think that you think they might be under 100 points tonight. Let me tell you what they average against. The Lakers average 110 points allowed per game. The Blazers allow 111 points per game. So they both average more than what they score. So that just tells me that there's going to be shots going up from every angle, from every inch of the floor, from half court to the offensive side. And they shoot it pretty well, 44% for the Lakers and 45% for the Blazers. So, I mean, if you're going to nearly hit 50% and you're only scoring 107 points, but these teams don't play defense, this game could be up there. The line, let's see what the over-under is going to be, 221 tonight. I might go over if I was a betting man and I knew where to place that bet. I might go over because Portland scores. That's one thing they've always been good at. They can score from anywhere at any time, and pretty much any way, shape, or form they can at least get the ball in the hoop. Their problem is the defensive end. And tonight, the Lakers are the same way. They can score from just about every inch of the court. They just don't know how to stop anybody from scoring. So this game should be interesting. I think it'll be fun, up-paced for those who are going to stay up and watch it. And they shoot the ball fairly well as a team. Like I mentioned, 44% and 45% respectively. They pass the ball around, 20 assists per game for the Lakers, 21 for the Blazers. So the ball's going to be moving around. It should be flying around on all aspects. It should be getting a lot of open shots, a lot of shots falling. And that could make this game exciting. I don't know if I take the Blazers winning it though, because they're coming off a big game last night. They're probably very drained. They all played a lot of minutes last night. And you had to go all out against Golden State. I mean, it's the Warriors. You're not going to take it easy against the Golden State Warriors, especially with Durant and Curry and Thompson and Draymond, like I mentioned last night. But I mean, the Lakers aren't a very good team. They're 13-25 on the season, but Portland's not much better at 15-22 on the season. So that's definitely something. I'm going to give this game to the Lakers in Portland because, Damian Lillard's going to be, I think he's going to struggle tonight, getting his feet back under him, running around for the first time in a couple weeks with that ankle injury. And with the big game, CJ's going to be tired, I would assume. He played a lot of minutes last night, scored a lot of points. All the pressure was on him. And so now he's got to, give it back to Lillard, and we'll see what happens tonight. I got the Lakers winning big. Well, not big. It's going to be a close game, but both teams are going to go over 100, 105 points. I think they beat the over 221 tonight. And let's quickly, since I only got a couple minutes left, talk about this first game of the doubleheader tonight on TNT. The Houston Rockets against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Houston will be at home, 27-9 on the year. Oklahoma City, 21-15. The only reason why I'm talking about this game even at all tonight is just because of who's playing. No, not the teams. The two players. The Oklahoma City Thunder point guard, Russell Westbrook, the freak of nature, the athlete himself, Russell Westbrook, averaging 30.9 points a game, 10.5 assists per game, and 10.5 rebounds per game, and a total of 16 triple-doubles on the season. And he's going up against former teammate James the Beard Harden, who's averaging 28.4 points a game, 11.9 assists per game, and 8.2 rebounds a game. And he is on 3 straight triple-doubles, looking for his 4th. And this game's going to be very, very exciting. I think it's going to be Harden versus Westbrook, all back and forth all night long. We might actually have a slight possibility of two players averaging a triple-double on the whole season because, Harden's 2 rebounds short of averaging a triple-double. Westbrook needs to keep up the triple-double pace. So this game's going to be interesting. That game will be at 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 Pacific on TNT, the first game of the doubleheader, followed by the Blazers and Lakers at 7:30 Pacific time. And unfortunately, that's all the time I have today. Tomorrow, we're going to talk a lot of football. So if you like the football talk, tune in tomorrow. Thank you guys so much for listening, and I will talk to you tomorrow.